matching hundreds. It's a coach. You're set for Madden football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Oakland Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Just a short time ago, sounds loud enough to reverberate across the Rockies. They're ready for football in Denver as the Broncos get set to do battle with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They come in at 15-0, one win short of a perfect regular season.
And it's something we've only seen a couple of times. Miami in 1972, New England in 2007. We know they're not going to mail it in. They're going to go for it.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they come into this one fresh off a victory that finally snapped a 6-game losing streak.
And there's nothing like that win that makes everyone happier in the locker room, better on the practice field, and they usually play a whole lot better that next game out as well.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season, Week 17, is underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Broncos head out for their first drive, and at the controls in his first season in the Mile High City, a former Super Bowl champion in Joe Flacco. And in Baltimore, they drafted Lamar Jackson. Eventually, he would take over for Flacco Week 10 a season ago. So Flacco out. Well, the Broncos said, we still think he has some time left in his career. They bring him in for some stability at quarterback, something that they really... Emmanuel Sanders, the 30, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Emmanuel Sanders with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Broncos have taken the early lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Derek Carr is set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his 6th season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014, and a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft, even contemplating maybe making a run at Kyler Murray, but in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping that he's the long-term answer. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
On the tackle that time, Shelby Harris. A look now at the Oakland offense.
And there's offensive tackle Trent Brown, signed away from New England in the offseason on a 4-year, $66 million deal to protect his new quarterback in Oakland, Derek Carr. No stranger to the Bay Area. first 3 years in the league were with San Francisco as a 49er. He can play left or right tackle.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. The tight end, Jermaine Gresham, the intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
To throw his Carr. It's complete to Graham. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Into the red zone, it's Carr. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but it must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Carr out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Carr going to throw, and that will be incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
The kick by Carlson is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Flacco. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown Broncos. Cortland Sutton, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And the defensive there, that was a battle. He just made a really nice play.
A really nice play, making sure his body position was correct. And how about the throw? Zipped it in there.
And it results in the touchdown. And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
After review of the play,
they had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. McManus's point after is good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Von Miller doing what he does best with a sack. To try again after the sack. Carr, man open left side is Brown. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. From the gun, it's Carr. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. And off comes to Martin. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
The clock showing just 16 seconds till the half as they line up 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. To pass, Flacco. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. And that's caught inside the 30. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Barring a flag, final play here for Flacco and company. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton, as time expires in the first half. And the Broncos will extend their lead. You knew time was going to run out, so this had to be in the end zone, and somehow they were able to find a window and get it done.
Very easy for us to talk about up here that, yes, all that had to happen, but when time's running down, sometimes your brain compresses a little bit too. They showed great poise, understanding of situation, making sure they got to the end zone in order to complete that pass and take a nice momentum into the locker room.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our halftime report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll get started out at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where you see the final score there. Phillip Rivers.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass.
I think we can safely say that those types of players are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the second time. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one.
Let's go.
So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Flacco leaves to Lindsey on the draw. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Lindsey. He's got the first down and more past midfield. The 20, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Phillip Lindsay. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half that's getting this done, it's confidence as well. And confidence has taken over this game in a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
Extra point from McManus is good. And they open the lead up now to 25. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was capped off by a Phillip Lindsay touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Here's Martin as they begin on the ground. And now loose football. Fumble. Martin lost it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Raiders on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Carr. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Oakland. This is fielded at the 27. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, are you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead.
Intended for Emmanuel Sanders. Incomplete.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made.
And this will be caught, and the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
McManus's point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 22 yards there, a first down. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That's on the Raiders' big money man, the free agent tackle Trent Brown. Tyrell Williams was the intended target. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. The pass complete to Ryan Grant. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. On 1st down, Carr. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
On 2nd and 10, Carr. This will be caught inside the 10. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will shave one more off this lead. This will be fielded at the 8. Stays on his feet. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Watch tight. Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right.
How about this? Flacco setting to throw it. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game.
Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
1st and 10 here for Flacco. He's going to air one out. And this is taken in at the 5. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make